Hi there, welcome to Subpar Stitches. My name is Hillary and this is my Flosstube. Today I have a small stack of finishes for you, some new starts, some whips, a little bitty bit of haul, and then I'll talk about my plans at the end. Everything is always time-stamped, so if you want to skip to a certain part, feel free, and I always list the patterns that I talk about in chronological order with links, if I can access them, in my description box. So let's just hop right into fully finished objects, which I have 4 of. They're small, so it's not like that impressive, but I'm really excited about one of these in particular. Well, I guess it's technically 2, but let's hop right in. So these are the Just Nan mice. It's the Romeo the Groom mouse, and why is my hand shaking so bad? Juliet the Bride mouse. So I'll show them to you one at a time. I followed like the instructions, the finishing instructions that came with the pattern, obviously, but I also pulled up a YouTube video because I learn more by watching someone than by straight up reading. I like to have both. So here is the little groom mouse. You can see he's got like a little boutonniere. He's got a little hat. He's got whiskers. You like sew a button to the bottom. I mean, the buttons don't look the best. I didn't do the best job sewing it up, but this is my first time doing it. So that's him. And I think there's supposed to be like little hanger ornaments, you know, you can hang it from the tail. And then this is Juliet the Bride mouse. She's got beads on her. She's got a little veil. This is, I'm assuming, like a bouquet. She's also got whiskers and again, like the button and the hanger. So I asked Rob what he thought, but I think what we're going to do is my brother's going to 3D print me a little base, like a white base, and I'm going to stick these onto that, and they're going to be our cake topper for our wedding coming up here in March. So I'm excited about that. They were fairly easy to finish. I was kind of intimidated just because I have never done that before, but now that I've done these 2, I know that I could do these very easily again in the future. Just Nan has like a ton of these little mice and a lot of like other cool finishes as well. So highly recommend, if you're intimidated about these, just look up a video tutorial on YouTube. There's quite a few and it's very easy to do. And then I had 4 little ornaments. So the first one was pretty much already fully finished. It already had like the felt on the back, but this was the Stitch North ornament and I just put a hanger on it. Nothing too crazy there. This was like free with our admission to Stitch North, so I just figured I'd turn that into an ornament. I had finished this one a while ago, but I finally put the felt backing and then like put a hanger on it. This is a dimensions kit. It's the first dimensions kit I've ever done, and it's like a gingerbread house. This is the 1999 Mill Hill Holly Berry Santa. He's from the Northwood Santa collection, I believe. And I, again, just put some sticky felt on the back and then a hanger. And I'm trying to do all of these Santa ornaments, but that'll take me years. And then I also have another little Mill Hill kit here. This is the Canada Goose, and just same process, some felt and like a ribbon. And I got this pattern from, or like this little kit from Erin and Amity when we went to Stitch North, so I wanted to stitch that up immediately. Ironically enough, I think I fully finished all these on like the 26th, so we didn't even put our tree up this year. It's been such a crazy year. So those are all of my FFOs, but I do have one regular finished object, and that is my year in stitches. So I have it all done, and I'm gonna do like a Flosstube extra to talk about like the whole process and some of the statistics and stuff, so that should be coming out next weekend. But I do want to say it took like 3-ish hours to wash the grid out of this. I still think you can kind of like very faintly see it, but it's not enough for me to like be concerned. I think I'm being nitpicky. The instructions said to soak it in warm water for 1 hour, and that barely did anything. And I ended up having to soak it in hot water for 3 hours, and I kept having to go and like add more hot water because there's something wrong with the seal on my bathtub, and because I washed it in the bathtub because it's like the only thing big enough. And the water would drain out in like 20 minutes. So I had to keep going and adding more water. But I'm trying to think of where did I leave off here? Oh, okay. So I left off on this little wrench here. So this is the last update of my year-end stitches, and then you'll never have to look at this again unless you watch the video next weekend. So this is a little Hawaiian shirt. This is a Makoto Ozu design, and that's because even though my Christmas vacation hadn't technically started, I was working from home, so I was in full-on vacation mode already. This is a Little Debbie Christmas tree cake that I designed myself, and that is because I did some nail art that looked like that, and it was really fun and cute. This is, technically it's a mouse, but I'm calling it a rat. That's a Makoto Ozu design, and that's because for my birthday, which was in September, but my brother didn't give me the gift until December, he gave me, it's like a pendant, like modeled to look like a saint pendant. Like if you're, I don't know if other religions do this, but like in the Catholic Church, like growing up, we had like saint necklaces everywhere. And he modeled it to look like a saint pendant, but it was the Chicago, like the famous rat hole. It's like a hole that's just shaped like a rat. So I thought that was really funny. This is a little guy trapped in a snowball. That's a Makoto Ozu design, and that's just because it was really cold out. This is a clown juggling. That's also a Makoto Ozu design. I just got it in my head that I really wanted to learn how to juggle, so I bought juggling balls and I tried to learn, and I'm still learning. I'm not there yet, but this is like a sassy little Santa Claus. That's Makoto Ozu. That was Christmas Eve. And then a Makoto Ozu Christmas tree for Christmas Day. This is a silver bell because Rob and I went to Greenfield Village, which is like part of the Henry Ford Museum. And Greenfield Village is like this like old-timey little village, and everybody's like in character. And for the summer it's open, but I don't believe it's open like year-round. And then in Christmas time they have this special ticket you can buy, and it's called Holiday Nights, and they deck the whole place out in like a very classic Christmas, and it's a fun event. It's kind of hard to get into because it gets bought up so fast, and we went one year in college and then we could never get tickets again, and so I finally managed to get my hands on some tickets, and it was just a really nice like fun evening for us. And that design was from the cute kawaii cross-stitch book. This is a little paint palette from the Makoto Ozu books because I spent the day dyeing some fabrics. These are supposed to be bubbles. It was a pixel art. I didn't pick the colors very well. That's my bad. But Rob and I were out and about that day, and we went through the car wash, and this is so weird, but I just really like going through the car wash. Ever since I was a kid, I guess I was always like obsessed with it. So whenever Rob gets a car wash and he takes me, I'm like, yay, I love this. I don't know, it's just fun and spooky. These are some stork embroidery scissors. Those are from the Makoto Ozu books, and that's just because Rob and I just hung out all day, watched a bunch of movies and TV and stuff, and I just cross-stitched all day. So I just also really wanted to stitch that pattern. I really like it. This is a match, and that is self-drafted, and that's because I needed to get some like miscellaneous stuff for the house, and I needed matches, like the wooden matches, because my sister bought me this really cool like match holder for, I believe it was for my birthday this year, and I use it to put matches in and like light candles, and I ran out of matches. And like I've never really just bought wooden matches before because it came with a bunch and I ran out of those. So I was like, okay, let's go to Meijer and we'll see if we can find them. I checked the camping section, I checked the grilling section. I was like, I don't know where matches would be. So I went up and I asked one of the people who worked there, and I was like, hey, do you guys have like boxes of wooden matches? And she was like confused. Like she didn't know what I was asking for, and she was pretty young. But I was like, like matchsticks. And she's like, you mean like a box of matches? And I'm like, that's how I started this conversation. But yeah. And she was like, I have no idea, which I didn't expect her to know either, to be honest. But she looked it up for me and found it. But I thought it was funny that she seemed to be like confused of why I would want matches. And then last but not least is a little firework from the Makoto Ozu books. And that was because that was New Year's Eve. So this beast is done. Rob wants me to get this framed, but I don't think he quite understands how expensive framing is. So I don't know. I have to kind of look into, maybe I can get like a standard frame and frame it myself, but I don't know if I can find one that's going to fit these dimensions. I got to do some measuring and check all that out. So we'll see. So then I had 2 new starts. The first one, I think I started this on like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I can't remember, but I felt like it was appropriate. This is a Janlynn kit that Tara from Will the Woman Crafts found on the freebie table at StitchCon, and she passed it off to me because she felt like it was something I would like, and I think it's so funny. And it's called like Will Work for Cookies. I will pop up a picture here so you guys can see. I didn't get like super far. I just started like the banner that Santa's holding. So here is where I'm at. It's 2/1, and this is, it looks like paper, but it's plastic canvas that is like colored like the Mill Hill Antique Brown. And it comes with your threads just like this. I didn't really separate it. I've just been very YOLO about it. This kit has quite a bit of backstitch in it, despite how small it is, but I don't think it will take me all that long to finish. And I just thought it would be another fun little Christmas ornament for my future cross-stitch Christmas tree. The other project I started is called Snow Angel, and this is by Rebel Stitcher. My goal is to start 1 new start a week for the entire year. Who knows how that'll go? I might just lose steam on that halfway through. I'm not sure, but I've got projects planned of varying sizes and stuff like that. So you guys will see a lot of new starts from me this year, I think. But this I thought was really cute, and I ended up, I'm stitching it with all the called for. So it's like, I think it's like Gentle Arts and stuff like that. It's all over dyes. And I picked this fabric that I got from Bestitch Me, and it's just a like mystery cut. I think it's a 32 count when I measured out like all the stitches. It's hard to tell what's going on here, but this is the Yeti's arm over here. This is his body, and those holes are where his nipples go because they charted his nipples. Why? I don't know, but I'm gonna stitch that Yeti's nipples if my life depends on it, I guess. I put in about 500 stitches yesterday. I'm going to work on this again after I'm done with all my stuff for the day. And I don't know. Even Rob like walked by and saw the pattern. He was like, oh my God, I love that. I love the Yeti. He's like, I guess I showed it to you guys, but he's just like a cute Yeti making a snow angel. And I felt like this would be good because it's not like strictly Christmas. It's wintry. So I felt like it would be a good first start of 2025. So then I have all of my whips. I got 4 here. So the first whip I worked on was Beekeeper House by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. Here's what it looks like. This is a sal we started at Stitch North at my table, and everybody was able to pick because there's like a bunch of these houses. Like I think 36 are out right now or something like that. Crazy. But everybody got to pick one of the houses. Oh no, 9, 18, 27. There's 27 houses out right now. And so everybody picked one, and I ended up going with the Beekeeper House. There were so many that I wanted to pick, but I'm stitching this on fabric called Speculoos by Roxy Floss Co. And I subbed out 3 of the overdyes, like the 3 biggest amounts of color, with some Roxy Floss Co. conversion that I picked myself, and then everything else I'm just going to do in DMC because it uses 16 colors and they're all overdyes, and I was just like, I don't want to buy all those, so I will just do the DMC. But I ended up finishing the actual house, so now I just have to do the rest of it. So the other there's like a couple other larger motifs. So like this flower pot and this bee skep, and then everything else is just kind of like small, like border stuff. But I've really enjoyed stitching this. I'm not a big house stitcher. I know some people like love stitching houses, but I feel like this is like the right size of house for me to not lose interest. Because some people love like these huge houses, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a house person, like in real life and in stitching. So. And I have this in my little frog Rip-It bag from the 805 Stitcher that Tara got me at a retreat. And I was really appreciative because I love this bag. The next project I worked on was Candy by Whittier's Stitches. I just haven't put a lot of work into this, even though I want it done. because I made a couple mistakes and I had to keep ripping out like the same part. And so then I got annoyed. But I'm finally through that. I got through the area that I was struggling with, and I've added a little bit more. I only put in about 350 or so stitches into this. I'm stitching this on Sapphire. I'm stitching this on 28 count Sapphire Even Weave by Fiber on a Whim. And here is where I was struggling with her arm for some reason. I kept getting off in some spots. So I finally got through the part that I was struggling with, and here's where I'm at. I've still got quite a bit to go on this, but it does feel, because it's 28 count, you do feel like you're making more progress because you're getting like a bigger coverage space. Your stitches are bigger. So I need to set aside some time for this, but I'm just not in the mood for it right now because I'm still kind of in like Christmassy kind of stitching. So we'll see. It feels like I don't know why. That one just feels like a summer stitch to me. The next project I worked on was Lois's stocking by Shepherd's Bush. This is the third time I've tried to stitch this, and I'm hoping that I got my fabric size correct this time. I don't know why I'm struggling with this one for some reason, but if I messed up again, I'm giving up. I'm just done. I'm over it. But I have my full name, and then I started on the little person. I got all this border done. So it's fun to stitch because my hair is all over it. It's the coverage of, what do you call that? Pearl cotton is really chunky and thick, and like texturally it feels really nice to at least for me. But this one has been a giant pain in my butt just because of my poor measuring skills. I've never done that before, like to that degree. I rarely have measuring issues. I'm not even like the best at math, but I don't find like cross stitch math all that difficult because it's like one simple formula, and yet for some reason this one is killing me. And it is one strand over two on an 18 count what is this? 18 count Rustico natural Aida fabric. It's probably like Zweigart or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't like the texture of this fabric because it's, like I said, it's like a very raw feeling, but I do like the texture of the stitching. And then my final whip, which I got pretty good progress on, is my Hobbit Hole Stitch Your Own Adventure. And here is what it looked like last time. This is by Cunning Cross Stitch over on Facebook. And there's like more parts to it, but I decided to just do the Hobbit hole. And it's like a very customizable pattern, which you need to think about a little bit more. Like there's more planning in advance that needs to be done with this than your typical pattern. But I'm on the last section. So I finished the door on the middle, and then I finished like the bordering piece over here. And now I just have to fill in, there's like a chimney that's going to come up here. And then I'm going to do like an overgrown grass look on this Hobbit hole. And then I just have to do all the back stitching and it will be done. And then I'm going to turn it into like a long pillow or something like that. But I'm so excited about this. And this one I'm stitching on, this is 28 count sand even weave from Picture This Plus. I wanted something that kind of looked like almost like a faded map or like a faded page from a book. I felt like it went well with the vibe there. But yeah, I have been really enjoying this. So once I get going on it, it's a lot of fun. But the one issue I have is that some of the symbols look similar, and those similar symbols are close to each other. So I have had to frog a little bit on this and go back and fix some stuff. So those are all my whips. And then I just have like a tiny bit of haul. For Christmas, my parents got me a $50 gift card to 123 Stitch. So I use it to pick up some threads, but also I got another Mill Hill Santa kit. This is the Eastern Star Santa. And this one there's this purple in here that I'm just like obsessed with, that purple color. So I'm excited to do that one. And then I want to work on my Pokemon cross stitch this year, like for real. But I feel like the frame is not it. Like it's just not doing it for me anymore. Even though that's how I used to stitch like big stuff. I just can't get it tight enough. So I decided to get the biggest Nerge, and like, look at how big this is. This is huge. It says it's 280 millimeters, whatever that means. But I figured this would be big enough to kind of like hold the space, and it's like bigger than my head though. Like that's crazy. So I have like this, I think I have like the second biggest one. This is the number 4. So I think I have the 3, and I didn't realize like how much bigger this one is than that. But that's, and you know what's funny is Tara has the 4. She showed it to me at Stitch North, and I still got mine in the mail, and I was like, why is this so big? But I got it in the darker gray because the other one I have is gray, and I just want them all to match, I guess. I don't know. I like the Nerd Shoop. I think they're really nice. So that was my haul. All the threads are already like dispersed and where they need to be. So as far as plans go, like I said, I'm going to be starting something new every week if I can. I've already kitted up about like the first 3 months of the year. So my first one in that was the Snow Angel. And then next week, I'm going to be starting Noël en Rouge, the bear sweater. I've already done one of these little sweaters to turn into an ornament, so I've got to do all 4 of them in the pattern book. And then the week after that, even though it's going to be the middle of January, I really want to start this. This is Oh Christmas Tree, and I have a Bestitch Me silk that I want to use for this. So those are all the new starts I have planned for the next couple of weeks. I'm also going to attempt to do WIPGO for the first time. So my first call was, or my first 2 calls were Colors of Autumn to do 5 full blocks on that. And so you can see this is where I was, and I'll need to do 5 blocks by the end of the month. And then I put my Pokemon cross stitch on there, and I want to do 5,000 stitches on that in the month. We'll see if that's like a crazy goal or not, but I will make that kind of like a focus for the month. So those are my plans. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.